background before you arrived here at SMarTsol's?
I've been working in the manufacturing electronic industry for about 30 years or more. I started, I'm from Juarez actually. I was born in Juarez, and I started in the industry in TTM, Thomson Televisiones de Mexico, if you remember. I started in the area of automatic insertion. I became an engineer right there. I spent like 4 years working for them, and then I was offered to work for a Philips CMT. Then it became assembly on and KNS now.
Yeah.
And worked for them for 10 years. I started as FSC, and then I became key account manager in service all the time. Then I jumped to Flextronics, formerly. I worked for them as maintenance manager for 10 years, almost 10 years. And then Ivan invited me to work in this company, SMarTsol's, since the 2019. Yeah, so almost 4 years now working for them. Yeah.
And I think when you look at service, and if we look at the growth of SMarTsol's over the last decade, it's been quite steady, but service is an absolutely critical part of it. So within the 70 people or so that work in the organization, how big is the service team?
Well, the service team, we have more than 20 people working in service. We have 9 service engineers here in the area, in the Guadalajara metro area, but also we have engineers in Tijuana, a couple there. We have engineers in Chihuahua City and Juarez, Chihuahua as well. We have engineers in Reynosa, Monterrey, and Querétaro. And right now we have 4 engineers that have working visas for US. So we are covering also services in US. As well, we are covering services in Central and South America. We have business in Honduras, and República Dominicana, in Uruguay, and Argentina. Okay. So service has been, we are convinced in SMarTsol's that service is a value added for our customers. And the customers appreciate and see that as well, that we are providing this kind of value added for them.
Yeah. What do you think the keys to providing that successful service? Is it speed of response? Is it the ability to help them troubleshoot process? What is it they need most of all? Or is it everything?
Yeah, but first of all is that the people working in service should be or have to be convinced that they are the face of SMarTsol's, and they are really the salesman for the company, because they are the head with all the time with the customer. In front of the customer. And if they are not convinced, that this won't work. Once they are convinced, then you have to build a team and start having a good teamwork. Otherwise, you won't have the results. Once you are convinced that this is the way to work with customers and internally, then everything is easier. Troubleshooting, diagnosing, repairing, installing is a matter of time. Yeah. But all behind, and the timing, scheduling, logistics is I think the hard part to get into that.
Yeah, and since you've been here, I guess a key part has been building out that team, not just from a point of view of making sure everybody plays well together, but making sure you have the individual areas of expertise for every single process that you touch, which is almost every process in the EMS factory.
Yeah, actually, we try to teach all my engineers all the platforms we represent. But of course, each of them has certain skills that we have to explode. And we have these engineers as subject expert matter experts, Yeah. And we take advantages of that. And they will support the rest of them when they have trouble. So internally, having that working team will help to solve issues in a faster way.
Yeah. And when you look at what your team do, obviously because they are with customers most of their days, does that does that give you feedback to provide to the principals? Are you able to say to the principals, these are the areas we need to focus on in terms of product development? This is how we can support your product better?
Yeah, actually, most of the time we are in communication with principal, because at the end, if we are in a problem or a bigger problem that is out of our knowledge, then we have the support from our principals. But in that way, we have feedback going back and forward from our side and from their side to us, to have a bigger knowledge or a better knowledge of the problems that are happening in the field, and then get faster answers for the customers.
Yeah, and I think speed is one of the things they value, not just speed of response, but speed of getting something fixed.
Yeah, actually, that's the customer, speed and free, for free. Yeah. Those are magic words that all the customers are asking for. But you're right. The contract manufacturers are looking for a really fast answer, really fast repairs, installing. Everything is for yesterday, for tomorrow.
Yeah, and actually making sure they don't have downtime on their lines is an essential value add you can have. And it feels to me like the service team is a huge value add for SMarTSOL. It's a key element to the way the brand is presented to the market here in Mexico and increasingly in North America.
Yeah, actually, as I mentioned before, we are convinced that it's a differentiator from the other reps or the other distributors. And customers are looking for that. I mean, they are confident that we will provide support after sales, and we have a great team. They're convinced they are getting our services, our support right away, faster answers, so that allow us to improve and grow our business.
Yeah, and it shows SMarTSOL to be an expert in the field and to have an understanding not just of process but of the equipment that you provide. So it's a huge part of the business. Thanks so much for talking to me. Thanks for your time, and all the best. Thank you.
Thanks to you.